Good evening, Commissioners, staff and members of the public. I declare the Ordinary Council meeting of 29 October 2025 open at 5:30 p.m. I wish to acknowledge the Kariyarra people as the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on. I recognise their strength and resilience and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Item 3, recording of attendance. This meeting is being live streamed and audio recorded to facilitate community participation and for minute-taking purposes, which may be released upon request to third parties. In accordance with Clause 6.16 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Law 2014, members of the public are not permitted to use any visual or audio, electronic device or instrument to record the proceedings of any meeting unless that person has been given permission by the presiding member to do so. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with Clause 6.174 of the Standing Orders, mobile telephones must be switched off and not used during the meeting. I note that all Commissioners are present and their attendance will be listed under item 3.1 of the minutes. Attendance by telephone, there are none. CEO, do we have any apologies?
No apologies, Chair.
CEO, do we have any approved leave of absence?
No, Chair.
Does anyone wish to declare an interest for any of the items in the agenda this evening?
Not for me.
No.
CEO, do we have any applications for leave of absence?
We don't, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioners, I move an amendment to order of business. I have a matter. I seek a mover to an amendment to the order of business that Council amend the 29 October 2025 Ordinary Council Meeting Order of Business as set out in Council Policy 1/017 to deal with item 8, announcements by the presiding member without discussion, before item 5, response to previous questions. Could I have a mover for the motion?
I so move.
Thank you. Commissioner Aldridge, and a seconder?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Jurovic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attendance this evening here in the chamber and also online. We just wanted to begin today by providing a brief update on the work that we've been doing as Commissioners and the work that we'll continue to do on your behalf during our time here as Commissioners. The first thing that I would like to acknowledge is the passing of Arnold Carter. The day after the last Ordinary Council meeting, Commissioner Aldridge attended the commemorative service for him, acknowledging his 34 years of service on the town of Port Hedland, his 6 decades of residence in Port Hedland, and would just like to acknowledge the incredible work that he did and the incredible contribution. He's left an indelible mark on the town of Port Hedland, and we most certainly want to acknowledge that and send our sincerest condolences to his family. Since the previous council meeting, generally we've taken the opportunity to engage with a range of community groups and members, and we're very encouraged by the warm welcome we've received and your genuine interest in the work of the commissioners that's underway. So we met the team at Marine Rescue Port Hedland, community members, as I say, at the memorial event for Arnold Carter. We met with the BMX Club, and that was lovely to spend the afternoon there. Pilbara Ports, we toured the port and got an insight into how shipping scheduling is managed from the tower. We've met with Port Hedland International Airport. We've met with our local members of both the state and federal parliaments, Melissa Price and Kevin Michelle. We've met with the Royal Australian Navy, who gave us an overview of a new offshore patrol boat that will be named HMAS Pilbara, and her ceremonial home port will be the Port of Port Hedland, which is very exciting. We also, a bit of a highlight for me, we met with Care for Hedland to learn about the great work they do with turtles, noting that it is now turtle nesting season, and their general incredible contribution to environmental sustainability. We also met with the principals and senior teams from Hedland Schools, who gave us a really great insight into Hedland's education opportunities and challenges. And so in the months ahead, we'll continue to engage with the people of Hedland, listening carefully to your different perspectives and inviting you as a community to work with us to shape a stronger and more sustainable future for local government. We had quite a few questions at the last council meeting about CEO recruitment. We understand what an important issue that is for Headland, and we've been certainly progressing that matter too. So we've taken internal briefings from the administration about where that process got to. We met with the recruitment consultant that was managing that process, and one of the questions at the last OCM was about, will we be abandoning that work or picking it up? But certainly our intent is to pick that work up. And this evening we will be considering the formation of a recruitment committee. So that is our number one priority now, having passed the budget and having got the council plan in place, is to get onto this CEO issue, which has been outstanding for long enough. We also held a special council meeting to deal with a range of issues that were outstanding, including approving some energy projects, but importantly, a community consultation about short-term rentals and the impact that we've initiated a consultation with community about short-term rentals and the impact that they would have on the community of Headland. So we strongly encourage you to take a look at that and give us your feedback. Let us know what you think about that. We're continuing to gear up for the major strategic review. We're keeping up momentum on the community projects that have been underway for some time now in council. We are also looking at all these outstanding policies, having a look at, well, all these policies that need updating, what should the priority be for those? And we're also looking at internal processes and procedures, including the management of council meetings. We're obviously going to be looking at advocacy and engagement on priority issues for the town of Port Hedland. So again, just like to thank everybody for the warm welcome that we've received. Please be assured we're cracking on, and we really do want to do all we can to get everything in ship shape for March of this year. Having said that, I will, and all the meetings for the commissioners for the month of September, many of which I've mentioned tonight, are included in this evening's agenda. Move on to item 5,
Sorry, Chair, could I just offer, on the list of meetings, there is an omission there that, given the significance of the event, should probably be included, and that's the memorial service to Mr. Arnold Carter on the 25th of September.
Oh, that wasn't on the list.
No, that inadvertently was missed, Chair. So with your consent, we'll add that for the record.
I think it's absolutely vital, as I say, in acknowledgement of the incredible contribution that Mr. Carter made to the community, that we absolutely acknowledge that. So I'm assuming that's okay with commissioners? Yep. Okay. We don't need a motion or anything around that? No? Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, CEO. Item number 5, response to previous questions. All responses to questions taken on notice at the ordinary council meeting held on the 24th of September 2025 have been included in this evening's agenda. I'll then move on to item 6, public time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity for members of the public to ask questions of council. Clause 6.73 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Law requires members of the public wishing to ask a question to complete a question form and place the completed form in the tray provided. If myself as a presiding member determine that questions or statements are out of order due to the use of offensive or objectionable expressions or are defamatory, they will not be considered, recorded nor responded to. Public questions are allocated a minimum of 15 minutes under the Act. Public questions and statements received in writing will be provided the opportunity to present first, followed by other members of the public. So I declare public question time opened at 5:39 p.m. CEO, have we received any questions prior to the meeting?
Yes, we have, Chair. We've received 3 questions from Ms. Renee Coles.
Okay, well, Ms. Coles, would you like to come forward and ask your questions? If you could state your name and your address for the public record and then fire away.
Thank you. Do you mind if I actually use my phone, because I hadn't printed it off, although I'd send it in advance?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Renee Coles, 58 Green Place in South Hedland. With the anticipated next stage of the JD expansion plan, which includes the state-of-the-art pump track and community space, is there a possibility of the town of Port Hedland to explore the avenue of reinvesting in the now derelict mini golf section? This could enhance the roadside appeal of the JD zone and serve as a significant draw card for families for the summer-winter season until the childcare centre plans commence.
Thank you, Ms Cole. I'll refer that to the CEO.
Thank you, Chair. There are currently no plans to restore or reinstate the mini golf at the JD location. And in fact, staff are currently working on a project to assess the viability of childcare at that site. I'd add to that should you wish to pursue the idea of a mini golf, then my suggestion would be to put that through the public engagement around the strategic review. Probably not that site, but certainly the idea could be considered that way.
Thank you. Thanks. And your second question?
Next question. Given the deterioration condition of signage due to the harsh climate conditions in the Pilbara, is the town of Port Hedland able to undertake a case study and explore possible funding or grants to update these facilities in preparation for next year's tourism season in the Hedland region?
Thank you. To the CEO.
Yes, thank you, Chair. In this case, the town adopted the signage strategy in 2024, which you may or may not be aware of, and that included a comprehensive audit of the town, signage of the town. And following the audit, budget allocation has been made to progressively update the signage that the town's responsible for. And design of the signage is being informed by the wayfinding style guide and outcomes of the work that we're presently doing on our Place, Our Story project, and you may have seen coverage of that as well. So more details of that project can be found on our website, on our Have Your Say website. And we can provide you a link with that if you can't find it, Ms Coles.
Thank you. The last question. With the upcoming Christmas season, can the town of Port Hedland advise the community on the community collaboration safety steps they have undertaken to ensure the protection of residents' property, community space and wellbeing? This will allow residents ample time to organise their Christmas plans ahead of time.
Thank you. The CEO.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I was certainly here for the last festive period and the months since, and we certainly recognise the importance of ensuring that the community does feel safe, supported and informed during that time. So we have, as we have done in previous years, teamed up with WA Police, and safety packs as a result of that will be rolled out in the next couple of weeks. There will be a lot of information in that on protecting your property, keeping safe, etc. We'll also run our information sessions in the shopping centres, and again the community members can come and have a chat with ourselves and with local police on those occasions. And of course we just encourage each other, our residents, to remain vigilant, report any suspicious activity and connect with neighbours and local services. Yeah, we look forward to working with the community during the period that's a higher risk period for us all.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate those questions, Chair.
Thank you. Thanks. Are there any other questions? Please come forward and give us your name and address.
Yeah, Frank Jane here. 6 Chillerman Street, Wedgeville.
Thank you.
Been there for the last 11 years, but I've been in the street for 20 years. Now, I'm going to start off with a little one first. Back in 2014, I do a lot of demolition work. Now, I had tip fees going into the tip, and they overcharged me $4,000 odd. Now, we went to court, and after nearly 40 times of going to court, they turn around and I beat them. Now, that cost the Shire Council $9,229, plus without even worrying about all the time off work of going through to the court cases all the time. Now, at the same time, I went to jail for 4 months to get rid of my fines. Now, the thing is, when I went there, I got fines from the Shire Council for reforming. It was $87,000 in fines all up. Now, they all run and concurrent into 16,301. Failed to comply with the building order, 12,500. Failed to notify the board of a change of address within 14 days when they kicked me off the site. Now, why do I have to tell the Shire Council? $12,500 that cost me for not letting the Shire Council know a change of address. You know, it's pretty pathetic. Failed to comply with the direction under section 2143, which the time specified, another 12,500. It goes on and on and on, but I can give you copies of this.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the thing is, now when I went to jail...
I just remind you, sir, like we're trying, question time, you know, we're just trying to keep it, you know, contained.
Yeah, I'm taking it down to basic.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Now, when I went to jail, I called in all my fines.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I got rid of all my fines, but the $16,301 went straight onto my fines option order. Now, it won't go away. Even today, it's still there now, right? And this is the latest up to date, which is still on there now. Right? I can't shake it. Right? But I haven't collected on the $9,229 that they ripped me off on the Shire keys.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what goes on with this mob? Anyway, that's for starters.
Okay,
Okay.
so is there a question?
Yeah. Can somebody look into this?
Sure.
Right? Because when all the tip fees were going in, luckily I keep all my paperwork. Right? I keep every nick and cranny.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the thing is, when they do the counterweights for rubbish going to the tip, right, that's meant to be get checked, right, on the wet bridge, right? That's meant to be getting checked every year. That hasn't been checked for 9 years,
Yeah.
right? Just to let you know, which I'll turn around and I'll prove that in court with Mr. Potter. But anyway, that's just another one.
Okay.
Right?
So,
I'd like to get rid of...
Sir, if you, because it is it's a question and answer session.
Yes.
So,
The question is,
right, thank you.
how do I get rid of this 16,000 which is on my fines enforcement?
Okay.
Which the Shire Council put in my fines enforcement, which has got nothing to do with my fines enforcement.
Okay, so obviously this is a very complex matter with quite a long history, a lot of detail involved. We'll take your information. We'll take your query on notice because I'll need to. I'll turn to the CEO in a moment, but I'll just say that appreciate that this is a very upsetting for
Complex.
you. And very complex.
I know that.
And very important
I
to you.
spent 13 years on it.
Okay, all right.
Right?
So I'll turn
I'm just
to
letting
the...
you know. I'm just
Sure.
letting you know now because I've got all the paperwork there now.
Yep.
And it kind of works out to the people that are involved are all left, but they're still working for you in other areas.
Okay.
Like Mal Osborne, Kelly Howard, Leonard Long, fraud on paperwork, Eric Burden, same thing, Milo.
Okay,
Brian.
look,
it goes on and on and on.
Sure.
Mark Sargent.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the CEO what he knows about this now. I will give him the opportunity to reply. You do have 3 questions, but this is
Okay.
there's a separate section of the agenda tonight called statement time, where you can get up and talk for for 3 minutes on a matter of your choosing. This is Q&A. So let's give the CEO an opportunity
All right,
to respond.
I'll leave you with that one. I'll do this next one.
Okay, so
Because-
just bear with me, sir. I'm going to give the CEO an opportunity to respond.
Yep.
And then you can ask your second question, and then we'll to and fro.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, I'm not aware of the situation at all. So what I would like to do is take it on notice, and if you would care to contact my office,
Yes.
or if you're still here at the end of the meeting, we can arrange for you to come and see me, and I will have a look into the matters that you raise.
Thank you, because I've waited a lot of years, and I'll wait till after we leave here, and I'll come and talk to you then. That's no dramas at all. I'm finally going to get somewhere with this. It's about time you people got up here after all these years.
Thank
It's
you.
lovely. It's great to see.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hey,
Thanks.
I'm very much appreciative for everybody else that's in this town as well, mate, because the amount of shit that's been going on is unbelievable.
Well,
And we need you people to fix this problem.
Oh, well, thank you for your,
All right.
your
Look,
kind words.
What I'll do is, with the rest of this, is I'll save it for the next one,
Okay,
all right?
okay.
You'll have to
So
remind me.
so in public statement time, you have 5 minutes. So if you have
That's great.
so if you have a couple of short, sharp questions now, by all means. But if you want to save your ammo for public statement time where you can just speak for 5 minutes, you're very welcome to. It's your choice, sir. You could do both, but it's up to you. But like I say, there are a few people tonight that might have questions. So we can get through those, and then you've got 5 minutes at public statement time. It's your choice. Do you have a couple of quick ones, and then want to come back to us? Or
Yeah, I'll come back to you.
okay,
I'll come back to you when that 5 minute thing,
excellent.
right?
Okay,
Because it might give somebody else a chance here to do what they've got to do.
okay,
Because the next one is heavy duty.
okay. Perfect. All right, sounds great. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll get back to you.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Please step forward, and we'll just allow the gentleman. Okay, please step forward, state your name and address, and we'll look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Commissioners, and good evening, Commissioners, and good evening, staff of the town of Port Hedland. Jan Gillingham, Kuchera Gillingham, 3 Simmons Street, Port Hedland, Cook Point. I just have 3 short questions, and I can carry on a little bit more in our statement time.
Sure.
To keep it short. Yeah. So my first question is regarding the lands in South Hedland which have been sold, and these are close to the South Hedland Shopping Centre, and also a block of land next to the Hedland Senior High School, previously, which was known as the Horizon Power land, because it actually belonged to Horizon Power, and to Public Health as well. It's regarding a shopping centre which had previously been said to be built next to the Hedland Senior High School, with a liquor store and a fuel survey. What I'd like to ask is, Commissioners, has anything gone forward on that? Because it's something of concern to myself as a teacher and other teachers and other education people regarding having next to a high school, a shopping centre, servo, liquor store. And I'd like to know, has there been an update? And our acting CEO may be able to enlighten us, but could I have some form of information, or I know you may need to take it on notice.
Thank you for the question. I will turn that over to the CEO.
Through you, Chair, I'd refer this to the Director of Regulatory Services.
Thank you, through you, Chair. No further developments have happened, Mrs Gillingham, since the development permit was issued.
Okay, thank you very much. My second question is regarding Port Hedland Hospital. Going there over the weekend, I had noticed that the gardens at the Hedland Hospital in South Hedland are in definite need of TLC, tender loving care. This has been a very long time. The new hospital plan, which was planned for over 30 years ago, which took place, and the hospital was designed and built during my 12 and a half years as a town councillor from 2005 to 2017 through the state government, etc. So, look, it really does need some care and attention. I would like Commissioners, town of Port Hedland, to please take it on that it's looked into. Look, staff, they're amazing at the Hedland Senior Hospital, that they have to walk through and see pretty much a grotty area. And look, if you haven't been there, Commissioners, please have a look. It really is time that we had some TLC. All the reticulation and everything else. So could I please ask you on behalf of the public and the staff, could something be really looked into that? We really need to have this upgraded because it's our hospital and we're very proud of it and we care very much about our hospital. Thank you.
No, look, thank you for that. I will say I will happily, I'm sure my fellow commissioners will happily go and have a look.
Please do.
But I'll turn over to the CEO for some clarity on who's responsible for maintaining that and then what we can potentially do in order to either get that sorted out ourselves if it's our responsibility or advocate to the state government to tidy things up if it's theirs. CEO.
Chair, through you to the Director of Infrastructure Services.
Thank you. The land is either WACS land, West Australia Country Health Service, or private land opposite that. It's not the responsibility of the town, but we would be happy to contact WA Country Health Services to advise them that we have had some feedback on the state of it and could they get that maintained.
That would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. My previous question was also about the other lands between the shopping centre, which I didn't tap onto. I know that they have been sold, a lot of them been sold, but nothing has happened in the future. So if that could also be noted and perhaps a response back next time.
Okay, so just for clarity, you'd like to understand the responsibility for maintaining the gardens and surrounds of the hospital.
Yes.
And the land between the shopping centre and Westside?
Yes. Behind the McDonald's, the side of the shopping centre, there's quite a few blocks of land there as you walk through to get to the hospital there.
Right.
So there are photographs in our local social media in the last couple of years of putting the spade in, digging the ground, so we know that it was going to go ahead, different buildings, it probably still is in the plan, so if that's something which the commissioners can please look into and feed back to us.
Yeah, we'll take that on notice and we will provide you with a response.
So that's much appreciated. My final question, commissioners, is to say thank you, commissioners, and thank you for your positive notices which you've been giving us regarding recent improvements which are due to take place and shape our town, in the next few months that you're here. Look, since you've been appointed here, it's the positivity that's come back from you as commissioners, and thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, that's very kind. Thank you. Are there any further questions? Hi.
Good evening, Commissioners, staff and the public. I have 3 questions. My first question is, has the Commissioner received a response from Minister Beasley regarding the question raised by the member of the public at the September Council meeting, which invited the Minister to attend a public meeting in Port Hedland with the town's ratepayers and general community?
Yes, I'm delighted to say that I have raised it with the Minister. She's very keen to get up here. She's obviously in the throes of, the aftermath of the local government elections, and then we're straight into Christmas. Yep. But she does want to come up here, okay. And certainly one of the things that she's very keen to do is to, as part of the visit, talk about the upcoming local elections that scheduled for March. She wants to encourage people to stand, to turn out to vote, and she was very happy to receive an invitation. So
okay, thank you.
Thank you for the person that asked us to do that. So that's very good.
So my second question is, as the stage 3 of the JD pump track comes to fruition, can the town of Port Hedland clarify that the ratepayers that costings for the project will not exceed the given allocation of around $8 million, and after it's built, no extra millions required to update the area in the near future, because there was talk of actually spending another $5 million on it in 3 years.
So we're considering JD Hardy upgrades this evening. As to undertakings that can be made, I'll turn over to the CEO.
I didn't hear the full question, Chair.
Would you like to repeat the question for us? Thank you.
So as the stage 3 of the JD pump track comes to fruition, can the town of Port Hedland clarify with the ratepayers that costings for the project will not exceed the given allocation of around $8 million? And after it's built, no extra millions required to update the area in the near future? Because there was talk of another $3 million being spent in about 3 years.
Through you, Chair, to the Director of Infrastructure Services.
Thank you for that question. The current budget, which I think is outlined in the paper, is $8.7 million. I don't know about any extra funding or expenditure that is planned for that site other than the town's general ongoing asset management and maintenance of that site. That is yet to go out to tender. So once tenders are received and pricing is received, we'll be in a better position to understand the investment that the town will be making.
And my third question is, Madam Commissioner, will the recruitment process of the selecting of the new CEO committee involve independent individuals who have the relevant experience and understanding of the requirements of the role for the new CEO?
We'll be considering that matter this evening. So the formation of the committee is something that we will come to at a later point in this evening's proceedings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? There being no further questions, I declare public question time closed at 6:02 p.m. and I declare public statement time open at 6:02 p.m. CEO, have we received any public statements?
No, we haven't, Chair.
Okay, do any members of the public wish to make a statement? If you'd like to, or well, folk can come.
That my 5 minute thing?
You 5 minutes, yep, yep.
Okay. I'll catch on to this.
Sorry, please state your name and address for the record.
Yes, it's Francis Stanley Kane.
Thank you.
6 Shillerman Street, Wedgefield. Okay, now, round 2. Well, what I'd like to tend to do is I'd really like the commissioners to put their heart into this on a lot of the fraud that's going on around Crown land titles. Just in my street alone, I've noticed about 5. Now, it's really weird, and that's the only way to do it is to show you what is really going on, because it's easy to get lost.
Okay, I would just caution you that under the standing orders, if there are going to be defamatory statements made, yes. I just would caution you that I do have the ability to rule those out of order. So I'll just qualify my before we get going and before we get too far down a pathway, I'll just issue that caution. But okay, by all means.
That's fine. Now, just to let you know, when I went to court with the Shire Council over the land that I was on under my miner's rights, I was there for 6 years, at 17 Shillerman Street. Mm-hmm. They turned around and took it off, and I had a 4-day trial with the local magistrate. Right? That's what cost me $86,000 in court. Now, the thing is, they registered this as a Crown land title in court, okay? They couldn't even get their lines straight. Now, this has been changed 4 times since 2015, right? That's the same block. Now, the thing is, after all that, I backtracked. They said the registration belonged to the Lions Club and was registered with their post office box on it. Now, I backtracked all that, and I ended up going back through freedom of information. It took me a long time to get there. It was never under the Lions Club, right, because the land was free, right? They took it behind them back with their own stuff that they had, and they put in their electricity thing and everything was free. So the Lions Club used to come from Karratha up to here and then go to Broome and used to do the run, right? And it was like a little storage yard until the joint got burnt down in 1993. Okay, now Malcolm White, he's a bloke that had this post office box number back in those days. And then I turn around and I end up going through speaking to the big boys in Perth, and this is the Governor-General, Governor of Western Australia, 1993 to 2000. Jeffrey served as Governor of Western Australia during this period. His role implied with our duties, but specific vesting orders would require further research. 2, he got back to me. Companion of Order of Australia, AC, in June 1996. Jeffrey was appointed Companion of Order of Australia. However, his honour is not directly related to vesting orders. For previous details about vesting orders during those years, I recommend you go to the archives. If you have any other questions, further get back to Jasmine, rah, rah, rah. Now, this is from above. Now, the thing is, there was never any vesting orders, right? This whole thing has been involved from the Shire Council from 2012. I was with Carol Martin and everything else when we tried to get the land on a peppercorn token back in them days, right? Not a vesting order. It was never a vesting order. I made up all this stuff and I turned around and now I've got all the proper truth behind the whole story, and over $250,000 worth of damages they've done to my buildings and everything else, my fencing and everything else. And what they've done now is they turned around.
You have 1 minute left.
Okay, that's
yep.
fine. I'm getting down to the last page.
Okay.
All right. And then it goes down to the last page where they turn around and they give it to the Headland Writers Club, right? It's meant to be for a non-profit organisation, fair enough. Now, I know the boys, I come in here and I spoke up for them. Development application 2018 available for inspection. Use not listed club premises. This is hereby given that the town of Port Hedland has received a development application for a purpose use not listed club premises located at 17 Shellerman Street. Right? Have you ever heard of anything like that? Now, after all that time, and it's still not in their name. It should be on the Crown land title, right? When you turn around and you're renting it out, right? And it's not who's collecting the money, right? And then we've got to the other land on other blocks as well, which does the same thing. There's people collecting money on land which doesn't belong to them.
Okay, well, look, thank you very much for that. It would be helpful, given, again, the level of detailed information involved, if you would like to correspond with us, we can certainly have someone take a look at that from you. So thanks for your statement.
That's all right. Yeah,
Thank
that cost me over $500,000, that one.
I appreciate that would be very difficult for you. But look, thank you very much. We appreciate you speaking with us this evening.
Well, this is why we need you people here, finally. It's taken a lot of years. It's like talking to a brick wall every time, and now that you're here, we can finally talk it out and get somebody to have a look to see what's going on here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, are there any other public statements? Thank you.
Thank you, governance team, for acknowledging my statement in advance when I've sent it in earlier. Apologies, CEO, that you didn't get it in your email, although I had CC'd you in and sent it to you. Apologise in advance that maybe something went wrong with the communications and you didn't receive it. Sorry, I'm just opening it up. So good evening, Commissioners. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the refreshing approach we have witnessed lately, characterised by positive quotes and clear interactions with our state and federal counterparts. Firstly, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the JD staff for their exceptional efforts during the recent Scribblers Family Day event at the JD Centre. The positive interactions and enthusiasm displayed by all staff were truly commendable. A special thank you goes to Beck Chamberlain, whose dedication during the setup ensured that everyone was comfortable and well supported. Next, on behalf of Pilbara Party Powers, I would like to express our appreciation for the positive interactions with Jess at the JD Centre, for the care provided to our mascots during the recent Teddy Bears picnic. Pilbara Party Prowse has proudly supported this event for several years by providing mascots at no charge to the residents of the town of Port Hedland. We take pride in fostering positive family interactions at these community events to ensure that the little ones have the best possible experience. We're also grateful to the town of Port Hedland for the recognition and appreciation this year. Finally, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the remarkable achievements of Kelly Howlett, AM, JP, ex-Mayor and Councillor of Town of Port Hedland, who was recently awarded the 2025 Coastal Champion Award at the Western Australian Coastal Excellence Awards. Kelly's dedication and efforts over 2 decades for the Care for Hedland Environmental Association has been truly inspiring. This award is a humbling honour and a tremendous recognition of the hard work and commitment of all the volunteers, staff, funding partners and supporters who have contributed to the success of the initiatives on the Port Hedland beaches. Recently, the success of the music festival also there can be attributed to the dedication and expertise of its director and coordinator, Jan Gillingham. Jan is a highly experienced educator with many years of service in both traditional schools, School of Air in the music. Additionally, Jan has served as an ex-Town of Port Hedland councillor. Jan's unwavering commitment to guiding local residents in their quest for music spans over decades. Her dedication to nurturing musical talent and fostering a love for music in the community is truly commendable. Jan's effort has been positively impacted generations, both young and old, and her contributions to the local music scene are invaluable. To truly honour the remarkable contributions of individuals like Kelly Howlett, AM, JP, and former Mayor and Councillor, and Jan Gillingham, former Councillor, I propose that an application to be created or put together by the town of Port Hedland to bestow upon them the prestigious title of Freeman of the Town. This esteemed recognition would celebrate their unwavering commitment and significant service to the town of Port Hedland community, which spans decades. Their dedication to the community is unparalleled and deserves to be acknowledged with the highest honour. Lastly, residents can clearly see a positive change in the way the town of Port Hedland promotes our town, reflecting the hard work and dedication of many individuals in our community. It's encouraging to see these positive posts, and I hope that newcomers to Hedland will view our town in a more positive, proactive manner. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's a lovely statement, and it is incredible. We've certainly been structuring our time here at the level of community mindedness, and we do have wonderful people that are doing incredible work. And in fact, we were down meeting with the Care for Hedland folk last week, and as I say, I'm very excited by their work with turtles, amongst a whole range of other things. But, these are the sorts of people that we need to step forward, and nothing changes. We do need community-minded people to step forward, and for those who care, genuinely care for Hedland, to get around those people and turn out to vote. So thank you for your statement. There's a lot of good news to share about this place, and the longer we're here, the more we're hearing it. So thank you. Are there any other public statements? Yep. Please step forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, my name's Toby Malia and I live at 29 Styles Road in Port Hedland. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I've been a resident in Port Hedland for about 7 years now, and I'm currently the Vice President of the Hedland BMX Club. I'm here today to express my support for the proposed pump jump parkour track, which is the stage 3 of the JD Hardy Community Hub Master Plan. As an active member of the community, I've seen firsthand the strong demand for safe, accessible recreational spaces in Hedland, and this project responds directly to the need and has already received positive feedback through local surveys and community engagement. Stage 3 will offer a fun, healthy outdoor space for people of all ages who ride non-powered wheeled equipment, not just bicycles. I understand there are concerns about investing in another youth facility, especially following the South Hedland Skate Park. While the park is well designed, it has unfortunately become associated with antisocial behaviour and many residents no longer feeling that it is safe. A major factor is the lack of nearby youth support services. The proposed pump track is different. It's not a duplicate of the skate park, it's a new kind of space in a better location, and being next to the JD Hardy Youth Centre means it will be supported by experienced staff who already work closely with the local young people. That support will make the real difference. This isn't just about building something new, it's about placing them where it can be successful. With this structure, supervision and services nearby, the pump track can become a safe, positive space for youth recreation. I hope that during the tender and construction phases, there will also be ongoing consultation with community groups to ensure final facility truly reflects local needs. I respectfully urge that the Council to support the pump track project at the JD Hardy Hub and consider its long-term value to our community. And I thank you for our time and consideration.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Are there any other public statements? I think people only get one opportunity at public statements, but you are very welcome to attend subsequent council meetings and make further statements. And as I say, very welcome to also correspond with us with any issues you'd like us to look into. Okay, there being no further public statements, I declare public statement time closed at 6:16 p.m. Item number 7, questions from commissioners without notice. Are there any questions from the commissioners?
None from me.
Not from me.
Item number 9. Oh, that's right, we dealt with item number 8 straight up. Item number 9, declarations of commissioners to have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business paper before the meeting. I invite all commissioners to declare by a show of hands that they've given due consideration to all matters contained within the agenda. Item 10, confirmation of minutes of previous meeting. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote, that Council confirm that the minutes of the ordinary Council meeting held on 24 September 2025 are a true and correct record. Can I have a mover?
I so move.
And a seconder?
I second.
Anyone wish to speak to the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by a simple majority. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote, that Council confirm the minutes of the special Council meeting held on the 16th of October 2025 are a true and correct record. Can I have a mover?
So moved, Chair.
And a seconder?
I second.
Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? No. As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by a simple majority. Item number 11, there are no reports of committees. I'd like to take this opportunity to move a procedural motion that item 12.4.2, JD Hardy Youth Community Hub Master Plan be brought forward for consideration before all other reports this meeting. Can I have a mover?
So moved, Chair.
And a seconder?
I second.
Is anyone against this motion? We then proceed. Oh, sorry, councillors would like to speak to the motion.
Yeah,
Thank you.
could I
Commissioner
make
Aldridge.
some brief remarks, Chair? I think this... are we speaking to the procedural motion or the...
We're speaking to the procedural motion.
No, I'll wait till the substantive motion. My apologies.
Okay. So item 12.4.2, we're good to move on to the substantive motion.
I so move the officer's recommendation 12.4.2.
So the motion is that council endorse the invitation of, we have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote. The council endorse the invitation of tenders for the construction of JD Hardy Youth and Community Hub Master Plan, Stage 3 project based on the scope of works outlined in this report. I have a mover, which is Councillor Jurovic, a seconder.
I second.
And would Councillor Aldridge, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yeah, I will. And I'd like to thank Toby and the BMX Club for being here tonight and for the public statement that he made. I think this is a project, in the short time that I've been here, I've seen and experienced overwhelming community support, and I think the report from the officers have quite well detailed its long history, which actually dates back to the endorsement of the master plan in 2019. and more recently the endorsement of the concept design for stage 3 in December of 2023. I note that there is significant community input into the final design, and Commissioner Shaw and I recently visited the Headland BMX Club to inspect their facilities, but also understand how this project will complement what they do, but also help meet the needs and the desires of particularly young people in our community and growing interest in wheel-based sports. This infrastructure will add value and activation to our youth precinct, and I think that's a really important thing as we build more services and facilities around the JD Hardy master plan area, and it will see significant uplift, not just in the opportunity for recreation, but the importance that also delivers for both physical health, but also mental health and the role that plays in the development of young people in our community. I want to also just, in concluding my remarks, recognise the significant and, in many respects, long-term work that has occurred with respect to the JD Hardy master plan, but specifically this project from the infrastructure team. But I also want to particularly commend the staff generally, but in particular Shelley McDowell, who has driven this project with a passion and enthusiasm which has come across quite clearly in the short time that we've been here. And I'm sure without staff like Shelley in the town, projects like this may not have necessarily come to fruition. So I congratulate the community and the town of Port Hedland on getting to this point. Commend the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Aldridge. Commissioner Jurovich.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Yes, I totally support all the comments there. I won't go over them again. But suffice to say that a very valid point has been brought up by the Speaker today, and that's in regards to the continual consultation with the BMX Club as we go through this $8.7 million contract. And that's not to say that you're involved in any project management or construction or anything like that, but keep the communication channels open, and I'm sure the staff you'll receive the staff's attention. So thank you very much for presenting tonight.
Yes, look, I'd also like to put on the record that this is just the sort of project that we hope to keep momentum up on. Our job here is not to stop stuff that seems to have been in the works for many years and for which there is an incredible amount of community support. We want to keep momentum up. We want to keep the town of Port Hedland pointing forward, and where there are community projects that have been repeatedly before council, that have had a lot of support within council and have had sustained support throughout the many meetings, certainly that tells us an awful lot. And when we get great community turnout and activation around things and great advocacy, makes our job very easy. So thank you to the BMX Club and to all those community members outside of the BMX Club that have also been involved in the evolution of this project. It's a great one, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing how it develops from here. In recognising the report, the project, we would also like to put on the record the gratitude for the town of Port Hedland from the contributions from the Community Sporting and Recreation Facilities Fund as a state government program, and also Lottery West. You know, these projects are always better to deliver when multiple levels of government can be involved, and we're very grateful for the support of those agencies for this project. So, as the motion is not opposed, I declare it carried by a simple majority. Thank you. All right, we will now proceed with other items in order as listed in the agenda. So moving on to item 12.1, Corporate Services, Statement of Financial Activity, September 2025. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote that Council 1 received the monthly financial report for the period ended 31 July 2025 as shown in Attachment 1. 2, receive the monthly financial report for the period ended 31 August 2025 as shown in attachment 2. 3, receive the monthly financial report for the period ended 30 September 2025 as shown in attachment 3. 4, note the accounts paid under delegated authority as shown in attachment 4. 5, receive the purchasing card statements as shown in attachment 5. 6, receive the investment summary report as shown in attachment 6. 7, receive the year-to-date budget versus actual reports by directorate as shown in attachment 7. And 8, receive the capital listing report as shown in attachment 9 for the period ending 30th September 2025. Can I have a mover?
I so move.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I second.
Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by simple majority. Item 12.1.2 Policy Review Program. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote that Council 1 adopts Policy 2/018 Borrowings and 2 rescind Policy 8/003 Access and Inclusion. Can I have a mover?
So moved, Chair.
And a seconder?
I second.
Is anyone against the motion or wish to speak to the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by a simple majority. I have a procedural motion regarding the movement of item 12.1.3 to the confidential section item 15. Could I have a mover for that motion, please?
I so move.
And a seconder?
I second.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by simple majority. Item 12.1.4, waiver of rating 2025 to 26. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires an absolute majority vote that Council 1, pursuant to section 6.47 of the Local Government Act 1995 and the Rates and Charges, Rebates and Deferments Act 1992, approve waiving $135,101.69 against A8178 Port Hedland International Airport as applied to the 2025-26 rates charges, and 2, defers charging interest on overdue rates until 12 December 2025, and 3, supports the Port Hedland International Airport in communicating the Town of Port Hedland's 2025-26 rating charges, determination and approach to billing and their payment. Can I have a mover?
I so move.
And a seconder?
I second.
Does anyone wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, if I could.
Thank you, Commissioner Aldridge.
Look, I might just make some brief comments on this item. It arises because of a change in approach by the Landgate Valuer General with respect to the rating assessment or the valuation for the Port Hedland International Airport land. And I draw attention to page 30 of the agenda, which says a joint reconciliation undertaken between PHIA and town staff identified the previous individual 2024-2025 rated assessments against the combined 2025-26 single valuation. This is proposed as the agreed basis of apportionment and included as confidential attachment 1. Now, I guess I want to just make some comments about this, and that is, I think that this is a suitable short-term response to the issue. I think there is going to be more significant issues in the longer term, particularly as land use changes, land valuation changes, particularly based on use, and how that might flow through to value and how that would ordinarily flow through to rating. And I just wonder whether or not I support the motion that's before Council, but I'd be interested if there was anything further from the CEO or staff about long-term considerations with respect to this matter, and particularly if this is an isolated issue that the town of Port Hedland is dealing with, or whether indeed there are other local authorities that are dealing with a similar situation, whether there's a role for advocacy in this space.
The CEO.
Yeah, through you, Chair, to the Director Corporate Services.
Thank you. Through the Chair, this is certainly going to be the approach for the next 3 years under the current triennial cycle that we've had. We have had several conversations with Landgate, the Valuer General, both ourselves and the Port Hedland International Airport, and they're fairly steadfast currently in that this is going to be the new normal going forward. And they use the example of a large shopping centre that has a whole series of subleases underneath it, and they do not go into individual ratings or any of those details. That is simply for the head lessee to deal with. And that's how they consider it up here. It's obviously not a shopping centre, is our view. So we will continue to have open dialogue with them, and hopefully we can make some changes in that next 3-year period, because this is going to be an issue, because there is development that is happening there. We have got an approach forward to manage that for the next 3 years, but it certainly complicates things right now for us.
Thank you, Mr. Leeson. Any further comments? In accordance with the motion, as the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by absolute majority. Item 12.2, Community Services. 12.2.1, Town of Port Hedland Access and Inclusion Plan 2023 to 2026. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote that Council 1 receive the Town of Port Hedland Access and Inclusion Plan 2024-25 Annual Report, and 2, receive the Department of Communities Disability Access and Inclusion 2024-25 Progress Report. Can I have a mover?
So moved, Chair.
And a seconder?
I second.
Is anyone against or wishes to speak to the motion?
I'd like to say something.
Sure. Commissioner Aldridge.
I'd like to recognise the work that's gone into this report from the staff in presenting the annual report on the Access and Inclusion Plan. And there are some, I wanted to just speak on this briefly because I think it is worth people turning their mind to this report. It could easily be missed in a very long agenda. There are some really great examples, if I can draw the public's attention to the individual achievements in section 8 of the annual report, which I think is quite a quick and easy read, but it actually shows some of the great things that are happening in the community. And I guess if I just make some related remarks around the important role that this plays in community building. Strong, vibrant communities are ones that are inclusive and provide particularly for the vulnerable in our community. And this is a great reminder and a timely example of the role that local government can play in making our communities strong and vibrant places. So I commend the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Aldridge. Do you wish to add any comments? Okay, then as the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by simple majority. Item 12.3, Regulatory Services. Item 12.3.1, Port Hedland Visitor Centre Annual Report 2024-25. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote that Council receives the 2024-25 Annual Report from the Port Hedland Peace Memorial Seafarers Centre Incorporated for the management of the Port Hedland Visitor Centre. Can I have a mover?
I so move.
And a seconder?
A second.
Does anyone wish to speak to the motion?
No.
As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by simple majority. Item 12.3.2, Development Application Unhosted Short Stay Accommodation 3, 1 Lacey Street, Port Hedland. Objection received. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote. The Council approves the development application reference number PDDA 20256 in accordance with clause 68 of the Planning and Development Local Planning Scheme Regulations 2015 and Town of Port Hedland Local Planning Scheme number 7, subject to the conditions and advice notes contained in attachment 1 and the floor plan contained in attachment 2. Can I have a mover?
I so move.
And a seconder?
A second.
Does anyone wish to speak to the motion? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by simple majority. Item 12.3.3, Public Open Space 2025 to 2035 adoption. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote that Council 1, note the submissions received during public advertising, and 2, adopt the final public open space and street tree strategy 2025 to 2035 as attachment 1. Can I have a mover?
I so move.
And a seconder?
A second.
Does the Commissioner wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, please.
Commissioner Aldridge.
If I could just make some comments on this item, it's quite a significant strategy, so prepare yourself if you're planning to read it from front to back. But I think it's an important document, particularly in the short time I've been here. One of the big issues, apart from housing and childcare, is public amenity, and I think it's important to recognise the role that public open space and well-maintained public open space can have in public amenity and community building, and but also in terms of recreation, physical health, and public health more generally. There are some really good opportunities to improve existing public open space and future public open space, and the strategy identifies that, particularly with a focus on South Headland. And if I can draw attention to page 110 of the strategy, which is quite topical in that it identifies the important role that water efficiency and improvements to wastewater treatment water can play in a region as water scarce as the Pilbara.
Thank you, Commissioner Aldridge. Commissioner Jurjevic. I'd just like to put on public record my thanks for some excellent work. I think it is an incredibly, and it's such a hot place. Having well planned and thoughtfully considered public open space is so important. I know an incredible amount of work has gone into this, and to all those community members that engaged in the process. This is a lived example of how you can be part of the future of your council. So thank you very much. As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by a simple majority. Item 12.4, Infrastructure Services. Item 12.4.1, RFT 242541, Town of Port Hedland Verge Maintenance. We have an officer's recommendation before us that requires a simple majority vote, that Council authorise the Chief Executive Officer to enter into contract for the award of RFT 242541 to, there actually isn't a recommendation here, to Up Your Grass Garden Maintenance for the total amount of $1,176,000 ex-GST for a period of 2 years with an optional 1-year extension. The timing of the contract allows for 7 visits at a total cost of $168,000 per visit. 2, note the budget of $1,176,000 is funded from the current operational budget 3038 1300 6001 in the financial years 25 to 28-29 annual budget. This, sorry, that's quite a funny business name. I had seen it before, but it just struck me then. Sorry, it's been a long day. We've been up since 4 a.m. Can I have a mover, please?
So moved, Chair.
Thank you, and a seconder.
I second.
Is anyone against the motion or wish to speak to it? As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by simple majority. Okay. Item 12.4.2 this evening was heard at the beginning of the proceedings. We move therefore to item 12.5, Executive Services. Item 12.5.1, Chief Executive Officer Recruitment. We have 2 officers' recommendations before us that both require an absolute majority vote. Officers' recommendation number 1, that Council appoint members of the CEO Recruitment and Selection Committee as Chairperson Shaw, Deputy Chairperson Aldridge and Commissioner Jurjevic in accordance with CEO standards under Section 5.10 of the Local Government Act 1995 and the CEO Recruitment, Performance and Termination Policy and CEO Recruitment and Selection Committee terms of reference. Can I have a mover?
I so move.
And a seconder?
I second.
Is anyone against? Does anyone wish to speak to the motion?
No.
No? Okay. As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by absolute majority. I have officer's recommendation number 2 before us, that Council appoint candidate Terry Hill as the independent person in accordance with the CEO standards under Section 5.10 of the Local Government Act and the CEO Recruitment, Performance and Termination Policy and CEO Recruitment and Selection Committee terms of reference. Can I have a mover?
So moved.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I second.
Does the Commissioner wish to speak to the motion? No. Just like to put on the record that Mr Hill is the chairperson of the Pilbara Development Commission and a person incredibly familiar with both the Pilbara region but also with Port Hedland. And we look forward to working with him as we progress what is now our first order of business, which is the recruitment of a CEO for the town of Port Hedland. As a motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by absolute majority. Item 13, new business of an urgent nature, there being none. We move on to item 14, motions of which previous notice has been given and there are none. Item 15, items for which the meeting may be closed, confidential items. At this time, I'd like to move that the Council close the meeting to members of the public as prescribed in section 5.232 of the Local Government Act to consider item 15.1 Port Hedland Visitor Operating Model.
I so move.
Thank you. And a seconder?
I so move, but also the inclusion of the audit committee.
Yes, absolutely. So we also will, I would like, so actually, as a motion is not opposed, I declare that motion carried by simple majority. I also would like to move that in the closed meeting session, the Council consider item 12.1.3, appointment of members to the Audit Risk and Compliance Committee. Could I have a mover?
Yes, so moved.
And a seconder?
I second.
As the motion is not opposed, I declare the motion carried by a simple majority. I ask that all members of the public leave chambers at this time, but you're welcome to remain in the lobby until Council reconvenes.
So do we go back online now?
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'd like to read the decision of Council on the confidential matters discussed for item 15.1 and item 12.1.3. So taking item 15.1, Port Hedland Visitor Centre operating model, we had two officers' recommendations before us that both required a simple majority vote. Officers' recommendation number 1, that Council 1 receive the Port Hedland Visitor Centre Management Model Viability Study. 2, adopt recommendation 1 of the study to operate the Port Hedland Visitor Centre as an in-house function of the town from 1 November 2026. 3, direct the CEO to undertake the necessary preparations to transition the Port Hedland Visitor Centre to an in-house operating model. 4, note funds to enable transition preparations will be included in the financial year 2025-2026 operational budget at the Q2 review for adoption by Council at that time. 5, note funds to enable operations will be included in the financial year 2026-2027 operational budget for adoption by Council at that time. And 6, direct the CEO to formally advise the current contractor of Council's decision and initiate discussions regarding the conclusion of the existing contract. This motion was carried by a simple majority. And Officers' recommendation 2, that Council 1 adopt recommendation 2 of the study to enhance the interior of the Port Hedland Visitor Centre by undertaking interior fit-out works. 2, direct the CEO to review the previous concept designs and associated costings and prepare a new cost estimate. And 3, direct the CEO to include a budget of $450,000 to undertake the interior fit-out to be included in financial year 2026-2027 capital works budget. This motion was carried by simple majority. Moving on to item 12.1.3, appointment of members to the Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. We had one officer's recommendation before us that required a simple majority vote. That Council 1 appoint Commissioners Jessica Shaw, Martin Aldridge and Ron Jurovich as members of the Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. 2, appoint candidate Baptiste Isambert to the position of independent presiding member of the Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. 3, appoint candidate Stephen Brown to the position of independent deputy presiding member of the Audit, Risk and Compliance Committee. 4, approve the payment of a sitting fee of $450 per meeting to each independent member under section 5.1002B, Local Government Act 1995 and part 6.4, determination of the Salaries and Allowances Tribunal for Local Government elected members 2025 pursuant to section 7B of the Salaries and Allowances Act 1975. That motion was also carried by a simple majority. Then move to item 16, closure. Item 16.1, the next ordinary meeting of Council will be held on Wednesday, 26 November 2025, commencing at 5:30 p.m. There being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 6:52 p.m. I thank Commissioners, members